Next, we have a fireside chat with the CEO and founder of Plug and Play Ventures, Saeed Amidi. Thanks so much for joining us, Saeed. A quick background on Saeed. Saeed's a serial entrepreneur and a seasoned executive with 28 years of experience in founding, operating, and growing successful companies. He has a successful he has successfully started and grown businesses both nationally and internationally in countries like Spain, Germany, France, Austria, and the U.S. He's a personal and for us ZUUM, since we've done so much work with Plug and Play and they've been such a great accelerator for us, we personally appreciate him a lot. So we're glad to have you in this fireside chat. Thanks so much for joining us.
Glad to be here and congratulations on all of the success, the journey you have had so much.
Thank you so much. So let's just get started with the first question. You have quite an interesting story where it all started. We'd like to kind of learn a little bit more on how you actually got involved in the tech space.
Yeah, I started my business in Palo Alto on University Avenue in roughly 1979 AD. And as I was doing actually my plastic packaging business and bottled water business, I had a neighbor, Pierluigi Zappacasta, who brought Logitech to California from Switzerland and built a great company. And then after we acquired the building in Palo Alto, one of our first tenants was Peter Thiel of PayPal. And while negotiating the lease with Peter, my brother agreed with him that he pays us some rent in advance, and we invested half of the rent in his company, which is turned out to be a great investment. And then later on in the same building, we had Google with us and Andy Rubin Danger, who did Android later on. So I just by accident got to know a lot of exciting startups and started investing in some of them as an angel. And slowly my hobby, which was investing in startup, became my main business, which is now Plug and Play.
Very good. Very exciting. Looking at your portfolio, you guys have thousands of investments and acquisitions, which is quite exciting. Independent of returns, which of your investments were the most exciting to you?
Every time, like yesterday, one of our investment, Flutterway in Africa, became a unicorn because Tiger Global invested, I believe, over $100 million at $1 billion valuation. But that specific investment enables the unbanked people to have access to money transfer, digital wallet, and I really like investments that, of course, have a great return, but also have a great impact. If you think about even Dropbox, which is one of our best investments, it has been a way for everybody to share files, use, photos. So again, it's always good to make money, but if the product really does a service for an industry or has an impact, which I believe your company will have that in the future, it's like double return. So I like those investments that both have a financial return and a big impact.
Very good. Another question for you, I guess, looking at how you guys have gone global, you talked about company overseas. and you're expanding your footprint around the world. Where do you see, I guess, plug and play in the next 10 years? What's your vision on where you want to take it?
As you mentioned, we are in Brazil, China, Europe, around the world, and we really enjoy helping entrepreneurs such as yourself build their company, build their dream. And I mean, we now take some of the successful startups from US to Japan or to Europe. So my goal in the next 5 years is to connect these dots. Like, let's say if a startup is super successful in US, I would like to be part of their success in Japan or in Germany. And quite frankly, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. And perhaps we can help more startups. Right now, we accelerate or we help about 1,200 startups per year, and we invest only in about 200 of them. So hopefully, as our footprint grows, we can grow our number of investments, as well as how many startups we can help in their journey to realizing their dream.
Great, thank you. And I guess as a final question, how has COVID changed things for plug and play? I know it's changed everyone's lives. Just would like to learn more about that.
Yeah, I remember it was around March 7th, 8th that California at least went shut down, and we have similar to this event that you have virtually, but we had physically about one event per day around the world in California and different countries. And we actually were pretty shocked about it for about 2 weeks. And then we decided to move everything online. And I remember one of our first events online, it was about how do you embrace yourself against COVID. And we did it with Roche. And we realized suddenly instead of 400 people, we had 3,000 people watching the event. So for us, we moved everything online. I believe it's nothing like welcoming people to in our headquarter in Sunnyvale in California, but we were able to really move our selection day, our expo, and our different events online. So it has been a great learning experience. And now, like next week, we are having an event in Thailand with 100 people physically and about 1,000 people online. And I think that's the way of the future. And I really hope this lockdown will finish hopefully within the next 60 days.
Matt, can I ask Saeed one quick question?
Of course.
Thanks. Saeed, so you know how when they had the influenza outbreak in the early 1900s, after it happened, the Roaring Twenties came out, right?
Yes, yes.
And the vaccine is coming out, and do you think we're gonna see some kind of rush? And when do you see that coming?
Like a couple of my colleagues in the last couple of days have got the J&J vaccine, which is one dose only, and it can be distributed faster. I don't know, like I mentioned to you about Flutter Wave. We had another company, Hippo, which is the insurance company, went public last week. I believe the rush is already here. I think the valuation of the startups, at least, is really high, and the activity is incredible. But nevertheless, I am really hoping the this investment frenzy with specs and with companies going public will remain strong for at least one more year. But it is uh, it is concerning to me that we have had such an unbelievable technology boom in spite the COVID.
Excellent. Thank you so much again, Saeed. We appreciate your time. This wraps up our session with Saeed.